If you think that $3 for XRP is expensive, you're falling into the same trap that retail always does. History repeats itself, so this, in general, this is just the beginning. Let's take a second and then talk about, I keep on burping. Let's talk about the 3 different points around trying to understand that this isn't the top, right? Retrospectively, if you look at it, it's expensive, but then if you zoom out, it's not gonna look like that. So let's talk about point 1. Why $3 looks high, but it isn't. So that's more of a mental barrier for all of us, right? So the all-time high for XRP has always, it's 384, right? So it feels high, but compared to the utility value and then the intrinsic value of the asset, so people will look at Bitcoin, right? They said the same exact thing, $2, $3 so high, $100 too high. But think of it retrospectively. Same thing with your investment when you're investing into Apple. Palantir was the most recent one that I can think about. Palantir, not $2 compared to now, is what, 100 and something bucks? It's crazy. So if you look at it from that lens, and if you look at it from any of the strong assets that have made a shit ton of money, XRP is no different, right? $3 isn't that high. So it's more of an emotional trap, letting you know that, oh, you might have missed the boat, FOMO, all of that happens, right? So take a second and look at that. Depends on what your goals are. I'm just gonna lay out what my goals are and state to you that $3, $3.54, which is the price of it right now, it isn't that high. I'm documenting this, I'm saying it now, but for all of the things that it's gonna solve, it's cakewalk. I think $3 is nothing compared to what it can solve, so many things. So point number 2 is the past trap patterns. A lot of the patterns, like what I talked about with Bitcoin at $1,000, at $400, XRP at 30 cents, it all looked too high at that time. So it's all emotional basis, and you don't know where the high is gonna be, so that's the reason why it's called all-time high. But just look at it from a value perspective and utility and all the things that's going on. And realistically, that's what it is. It's not even hype. This is what's happening right now. And it took us a long way to get there, but that's what's happening right now. So don't let the emotional pullbacks set you off. Don't let it shake you out. Usually that happens right before the breakout, right? So look at the support, look at the resistance, understand some of the basic levels of where XRP is at, and then also the volumes. When institutions are gonna start picking back up, go along with the ride. Right now it's just consolidating, so that's normal. That's ultimately fine. So that's some of the historical cycles. Bitcoin did the same exact thing. XRP is no different. It's already the 3rd top coin. I think it's gonna be the 1st. There's no reason for it not to be the 1st. Bitcoin's great and all, but it's a store of value in my perspective. So it doesn't really solve a lot of the financial problems that we have today. Although it's a great replacement for gold in a sense of digital assets. So that's point 2. Point 3 is how to build while most others are just waiting, or they don't even understand the asset, they don't even know what it is. I talked to my family about it, they finally got into it, but it's difficult, right? Trying to get those around you to understand where this is gonna go. I've been trying for the past 8 years, trying to show people how all of this works. It's a whole different realm, so it's gonna take a while to adopt. That's how you build, that's how you learn. So getting into the process and then learning how cryptocurrency works in general, how the systems work, getting onto the exchange, making your first wallet transfer, just transfer money around, see how it works. That's the start of it. I think signing up for these exchanges as well too, getting a cold wallet, all those are really good things to learn and build upon when you're trying to get into this and showing people how to do it. But at the end of the day, just start learning, start building on this while others are just waiting. Don't wait. Waiting for the perfect dip too is usually missed. So try and understand the levels. Don't wait for the massive dip, and get into it if you have the means, right? Start accumulating more, because at the end of the day, grow your asset so that way it accumulates, because this is going to be generational wealth type stuff. You're going to be the person who's going to change your whole family's trajectory. when you're getting into this type of asset. That's for the right long-term perspective. There's a lot of different vehicles for you to use XRP to leverage. There's a lot of different ways to make it cash flow. Lending, I talked about it a little bit in a couple of my other videos, but there's just so much that you can do with it. Also, I kind of went on a rant there, so going back to point 3, so building upon it, stacking versus hesitation. So just learn how the setups work, and then learn how, this is what I'm doing, is putting a special focus on this one asset, and then I'm going to do a comparison versus all of the other cryptocurrencies that's going on. And so that way I can actually have more focus. Before, I looked at Bitcoin, I looked at meme coins, Shiba Inu, looked at Verge, looked at all that. So many different cryptocurrencies, because there's so much out there, right? But that's all noise. Now it's just focus. Make sure that you can actually have that very zoomed in focus, but also zoom out to learn and see what's happening around you. So that's exactly what I'm doing. So if you want to catch that with me, then watch my channel. I'll probably start getting into zooming into the charts and going over some technicals with you guys. By all means, I'm not professional. I just dabble a lot, and then I've done day trading for quite some time. I've been profitable some seasons, but it's been very in and out, right? I'm not a professional, but I do know that I've been able to make good amounts within the crypto space to make these types of analysis and then views. It's very volatile. If you want to trade, it's not the easiest thing to trade because it's very volatile. But if you understand a specific asset and you look at it, you can learn how the trends work and then how it's moving, right? So this is no different than looking at one stock. If you look at Apple, if you look at Tesla or Palantir, you'll learn how they move. And then it's not going to be like rocket science, right? You're just going to get used to the trends. And so that's what I'm doing with XRP, looking at the trends and seeing how it's reacting towards things. And it's been pretty solid. I think right now it's just consolidating. So anywhere between, let's take a look. Let me zoom out. 7 days, the past 7 days, probably sitting around 287 and then 355. So those are the low and then high ranges. It's been a pretty crazy week with crypto week and everything that went on. So let's see where it's going to take us. 350 seems like where it's going to be sitting at for a bit. And then I want to see if it's actually going to break its all-time high, which is 384. If it jumps up, then I could just hold. I have a couple positions, right? I have some short positions, not short as in I'm shorting XRP, short as in short-term plays. Let's see if I can bring in some of this stuff. No, here we go. I already talked about that. It's all the same points. Some more info on these. So it was probably a long cut, but hesitations, that's the real trap at the end of the day. A lot of retail investors are just waiting for the perfect dip. Don't do that. Don't wait for the perfect time because it's not going to be a perfect time. Now, that's what I've learned. During this whole week long, we're going to see a long consolidation. Is it going to hit under $3? I don't know. I have some stop losses at 318 for my shorter term trade within XRP. If that hits, I'm going to use that money, buy some more when it's lower, right? Because that's my trading strategy. And I'm going to grab some on sale for my moon bag. So that's how this strategy has been working, is I'll trade, goes up 200% because I leverage trade, and then use some of that money, buy the moon bag. It's a cycle, it's a circle, right? That's what I'm doing. And then what you can do, and I'm not a financial advisor, so please consult with your financial advisor if there's any other long-term plays that you're trying to do. But accumulate during the times when people are not interested in it. That's all that I can say. A lot of skeptics are going to come out, but the momentum for XRP is going to continue. It's life-changing stuff. So price that based on the value that you see. The value is very different when you're looking at it intrinsically rather than looking at it from what other people are saying. Gauge what you want out of this and then gauge what your goals are. and then look at it from your own lens. Don't be trying to compare and look at what other people have or look at what other people think it's going to go to. Make your own decision and then your own analysis and learn about the asset. Otherwise, don't get into it at all. So it's just like at the end of the day, make sure that you're protecting yourself and you understand what you're getting yourself into. From what I can tell you and what I can educate you on is that this XRP is strong. It's a very strong asset. Most cycles, there's always going to be like that euphoria and then it takes a dump, right? That's most cycles. If you look at all of the cycles, it's always been like everyone starts talking about on the news and everything. And then other times people are just like, oh, but this time it's different. But then it always tanks and it always dumps. And so for me, what I usually do is I look at the technicals, I look at the fundamentals. And right now, I can see that it's different. I know I just contradicted myself, but literally this time it's so different because past times we didn't have a crypto-friendly government. We didn't have that. We didn't have all these regulations and Clarity Acts and Genius Acts. We didn't have these coming through. We didn't have the President of the United States saying that we're going to be the central hub for cryptocurrency. Like, this time it is different. The utility is going to be shown. A lot of people are going to start seeing how seriously outdated our financial system is. If you don't already see it, you're going to see like the flaws, and you're going to see how quickly this technology can solve that problem. The XRP ledger, it's going to solve a ton of stuff, right? So that's all that I have to say with you guys. It's just a little recap. Bucks, it's not that much. It's not expensive. Like, can't explain it. Like $3 for Bitcoin expensive. If you say yeah, you're out of your mind because I'll make that easy money. But at the end of the day, make sure ensure that you set all of your stop losses. Make sure that you actually understand what your goals are, and then make sure that you understand the highs and then the lows, and then make sure that you're in between those phases. Okay, guys. Well, thank you. If you like this type of video, catch you guys in the next one.